From the basketball team to the band to the dance team, Forte High School in New Orleans had it all, including prominent alums like former Governor Dave Treen, musician Al Hirt, NFL Hall of Famer Aeneas Williams, and a lawyer who coined the phrase, "one call, that's all." Was Forte a special place for you and so many others?
Yes, and I'll tell you this, when you're talking to someone that actually went to LC Forte, they'll tell you they bleed blue, not red. They bleed blue.
But on August 29th, 2005, Hurricane Katrina brought an end to Forte High School at Ferret in Nashville, Uptown, one of several schools never to come back after the deadly storm. Decked out in school colors, Norris Williams, a proud alum who finished in 1997, still helps run the annual alumni event that takes place each summer. A party filled with tarpon pride and lots of fun.
We gathered, like this past weekend, we had alumni dance, we had alumni picnic, we do church services and brunch after, and then we finish it at the end of the day where we kind of just debrief and do like an after party at a social club.
Katrina changed so much in the city when it comes to public education. Numerous other high schools ended up like Forte. John F. Kennedy in City Park, Alfred Lawless in the 9th Ward, just to name a few, also never reopening. Several middle and elementary school campuses shut down. Leaders say after a monster weather event, fewer schools was inevitable.
A great example of this is prior to the storm, we had a school system that was built for 125,000 students. I think it was 125 or 126,000 was the maximum enrollment that OPSB had. Now our enrollment is roughly 43,000. So that is a significant difference.
Olin Parker is an elected school board member in New Orleans.
We are shrinking our footprint, and we're seeing results from it. We've had, over the last 3 years, our mastery rates have increased by 10 percentage points. I think that's probably more than any other district in the state.
But the fact some schools never came back still hurts.
New Orleans is a nostalgic town.
Dr. Ken Ducote is called the unofficial historian for the school system by many on the board. A career educator who spent 22 years running OPSB facilities and almost 20 more serving as a consultant for recovery efforts after Hurricane Katrina. His knowledge of the New Orleans public school system is encyclopedia-like. When Katrina hit, do you have a ballpark? How many school buildings did Orleans Parish have in August 29th, 2000?
They had 141 school locations, totaling about 400 buildings. About 300 of the classrooms were temporary buildings. They had a lot of these modular wooden buildings that were built in the 50s or 60s.
Ducote says the day Katrina hit, 80% of those buildings damaged or destroyed, which led to long overdue change.
There was only 5 schools that were built after 1980. We actually had 7 schools that were built before the Spanish-American War. With the age of our school buildings at the time, with the average age being 1939 and the oldest school being 1852, a lot of the features were totally obsolete. So it made more sense to approach it different.
So that meant hundreds of millions of dollars in federal funds spent on new school buildings across the city. Campuses that shine bright right now, 20 years later. Carr got a new campus, as did L.B. Landry, Carver, Cohen, and McDonough 35. Wheatley Charter, Hines Lakeview and UNO, and numerous other elementary schools also moved into new buildings. And new schools opened up. MLK in the lower 9th Ward and Lake Area in Gentilly. Speaking of Lake Area High School, it eventually changed names to John F. Kennedy, taking on the tradition of another school destroyed in City Park in 2005 by the floodwater, giving that alumni base for JFK restored pride.
I've seen a ton of outreach from our schools now to those alumni associations.
Many other older Orleans Parish School Board buildings are in the process of being sold, like the old Rob Wynn site downtown, Gene Gordon in Gentilly, and Habens Elementary in Algiers. But other buildings were redone or repurposed over the last 2 decades since Katrina. McMain, Warren Eastern, and Booker T. Washington all got major facelifts and are thriving, as did Abramson in New Orleans East. And Fort Chay's old building uptown has been back in service for 18 years. It now houses the Willow School.
For those alumni groups that are part of those schools that haven't come back, we certainly celebrate their passion. I'm so glad that they're still so connected to their classmates, because often when people connect with their classmates, they pay it forward for the current student.
For Norris, though, he'll continue to hold on to history, a proud Tarpon. His annual gathering drawing hundreds from Fort Chay's 7 decades of existence. That only lives on now in their hearts and minds. And he hasn't given up the hope that one day Fort Chay might return. Can Fort Chay come back?
I believe so. I believe if we talk to the right people, we attend these community meetings and show people how real we are and how serious we are to making Fort Chay come back, I think it could come back.
Travers Mackle, WDSU News.